Matt Kenseth snapped a 46 race winless streak in this race last year. It's a second win at Texas Motor Speedway, seventh top 5 finish at Texas Motor Speedway. You have a 19-point lead going into next week's race, and with the win, you secured a spot in the 2012 NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race. I mean, a great night for you. Talk about it.
Man, that's a whole lot of stuff that just happened. I'll tell you what, it's I could say it's about time, but hard work pays off still today, and that's what this is about. The team and Matt Puccia putting together the group of guys he has, the engine shop, how hard they've worked on the fuel injection and the engines and all that, and I'm just I'm thankful to get the opportunity to drive these cars as fast as they are. And, we knew it was a matter of time. We're going to win one of these things. We've been running so good. We had great pit stops. We have good cars. Vegas, we were off a little bit. And, that ate at us a little bit because that's a good track for us. And so we came here and really focused on our car to get it driving the best we could. And I'll tell you what, catching the 48 car at the end, had to dig deep. It was all I had to be able to get to him. And it seemed like when I got to him, it was too easy. I don't know, if he used up his tires or the traffic. He had trouble, I think, a little bit of trouble in traffic. That's when I could close in on him. But overall, it was a really good night for us.
We're also joined by winning car owner Jack Roush. This is the 9th NASCAR Sprint Cup Series victory for Roush Fenway Racing at Texas Motor Speedway. The third time Roush Fenway Racing has swept both the Nationwide Series race and Sprint Cup Series race in the same weekend at the Texas Motor Speedway. Jack, you have quite the collection of cowboy hats. This is your 18th career victory at Texas Motor Speedway, the most by any car owner. Again, talk about the night and just, again, the success that you have here at this place.
Well, it's my pleasure and my honor to share the moment with Matt and with Greg here. I realize how hard they worked and the path that Greg and Matt had both taken individually to get where they are in the business to be able to win a race at this level. They both worked hard for it, and they don't take it for granted and assume that it's easy any more than I do. We had the opportunity to test a great car here, a great tire here with Greg earlier in the year, and the tire that Greg helped Goodyear develop, I think, was a factor in the fact there was so little trouble in the race tonight. I was not surprised that it went as many caution-free laps as it did. I think somebody brought it to my attention that there wasn't a single wreck tonight. There was a couple of debris cautions. And that's unprecedented, but it's a testament to how well the cars are throughout the field are prepared, and how well they're driven, and what a good tire we've got. We're real happy to be part of the Ford program to share with the Ford's engineers the understanding of the automotive principles that are involved in getting these cars right. And for my part, you indicated this is the third time we've had a sweep. I don't know if this is my last sweep or not, but I'm going to remember this one for a while.
We're also joined by winning crew chief Matt Puccia. Matt, talk about the success that you've had early on this season with Greg.
Yeah, it's everybody involved. We just at the end of last season we sat down and established what our weaknesses were and where we needed to work on, and we went to work. And Robbie Reiser has done a lot for us in this team, and we assembled a good team here. Went to work on our cars, and it's showing. We started the season off, and we're running really good, and the team is focused, and we're ready to go into the rest of the season.
I believe we have a couple of questions in the press box. So we'll come back down here to Dave.
Terry Blount, ESPN.com. Greg, that was really got strung out for most of the race there. There was hardly any side-by-side racing tonight. So first of all, does that surprise you at this place? It's a place where it's had so many wrecks and so much has happened that happened. And number two is, when Jimmy gets the lead there and there's this long green flag run, and were you concerned that you just wouldn't be able to catch him because the car out front seemed to have such an advantage?
Yeah, I was worried about that. I closed in on him a bunch on the pit stop. I beat him to pit road for the final stop of the day. And, so I closed in on him a little bit. When we got back going again, I decided to tighten my car a little bit more, it started getting a little free at the end of that run, and I knew it was going to be tough. So I knew we were close on fuel. So for about 8 or 10 laps there, I took care of my tires a little bit. Somebody leaned in my window before the race started and told me a story about what a driver did before to win here, and I just thought about it, and I thought that I could save a little bit of tire, and it was going to be a long run at the end of the rest of the day, and I was a little short on fuel, so I kind of lifted a little bit early and let the car roll down in the corner, and when he started catching a little bit of traffic, that's when I started going, and just pushed as hard as I could, and was driving the thing sideways around the corner trying to catch him, and I could tell I was catching him. And he had a little trouble with traffic. And so that was the combination that, I was closing in on him pretty good. And then he started catching those guys that he was going to pass. And I don't know why I think he just slid up off the bottom. He got loose getting in. And, I was able to turn under him and get the left front down on the grip and just put the power down and was able to get by him. I was surprised I didn't have to deal with him anymore, though. I thought that he was going to be right there, and he was for a little bit. But, once my car drove so different out front, it was a little bit freer. So I made some mistakes there early, and I had to adjust my driving style a little bit for being out front like that. So and then I was able to pull away from him.
Jeff Owen, Sporting News. Greg, this was a race where you not only had to be fast with all the long green flag runs, but your team had to be pretty much flawless, and that hadn't always been the case for you the last couple of years. What does that say about your team, and how much confidence does that give you for the rest of the season?
That gives me huge confidence. I mean, I knew that from about the third race, that these guys, the guys that Matt had put together, we kind of held the handcuffs on him a little bit last year until we got to the end of the season, and he revamped the entire team over the winter, and I really, really like my guys. They're doing a great job. They're really focused. They all work really hard, and they care about this team, and that's good to have. Lots of energy. No matter how we run, they're pumped up, and that means a lot. And you're right, there wasn't any mistakes. I almost got caught speeding coming onto pit road tonight. Two stops before the end. I had it axle hopping pretty bad, and I was a little bit sideways, and I had to slow down in the zone and try and give some time back because I was too fast when I crossed. But I'll be curious to look at the lap time and see what was in that section. But I think I slowed down quite a bit. But you're right. You had to be perfect, and that's what we did.
Monty Dutton, Gaston Gazette. Greg, could you describe, when you haven't won in 49 races, and you're chasing down Jimmy Johnson, and you see him having trouble with traffic up ahead, it strikes me that sometime in that circumstances you might get so preoccupied with watching him, watching your prey, than you are watching yourself from a little ways back. What were you had to smile when you saw him having a hard time up ahead of you, but then when you got to him, you went by him very quickly.
Yeah, I was foaming at the mouth. When you hadn't won in a long time, and you got a guy that's, doesn't matter. Didn't matter who it was, it was 5-time champion or what. I was driving my heart out, and I was doing all I could do. I kept moving up the track, down the track, up the track, down the track. I found a little something with about 40 to go down in turn 3 and 4. Where I saw the 48 putting his left front tire on the racetrack, and I drove across there one time, and I found some grip right there, and so I started driving that line, and I started closing in on him instantly. And he was beating me down there most of the night, and that was probably line sensitive, and I didn't pick up on it till late, or at least my car responded when I kept moving around till I found something. Because I could beat him down in 1 and 2. I could beat him all the time, but down on 3 and 4, he'd kill me across there. I just was a little loose in. I'd slide the nose, and then the wind just kept blowing the car coming off of turn 4. I just couldn't get it coming on. And I watched him, and he just smooth as a sail. So I knew his car was a little better than mine. But, I kept putting pressure on him, and that's what it took. I drove up behind him, getting in the corner down there, and his car was loose, and it moved up and gave me the opening.
Bring it down here for Dave and then Carlos.
Yeah, Matt, Dave Rodman with NASCAR.com. Could you reflect a little bit on your progression at Roush Fenway from the Truck Series to gaining this big win? And then look ahead at your anticipation going to Kansas, where you and your guy could very well win 2 in a row.
Yeah, I mean, Jack gave me this opportunity with in the Truck Series, and I got my first win with Roush in 2008 with Eric Darnell, and it's been a great progression with the company. I've been really fortunate for Jack and Robbie and everybody giving me this opportunity. Looking ahead to the season, what we built and what we have in front of us. We got some good racetracks coming. We got Kansas and Richmond and Talladega and Darlington. We look ahead, and there's not one race I see that we can't go and run good and be in contention to win every week. So, looking forward to getting going here in the next part of this little stint here.
Carlos.
Hey, Greg, Carlos Mendez, Forward Star Telegram. Do you feel like you needed a win to validate your place at the top of the standings?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly doesn't hurt. But I think you could have looked at the way our season has started. Unfortunately, how Daytona finished for us, and how we ran at Phoenix and how we ran at Vegas. Bristol really isn't a, wasn't a good race for us to grade us on. We had a bump stop fail at Bristol. We probably would have finished 5th at Bristol. So that race aside, we have run really, really strong, and probably deserve to be, at the top. Martinsville, arguably we should have been in the top 10. We missed a couple opportunities to get the lucky dog and get back. Field didn't get relined properly. So out of all the races, yeah, I mean, but to win like this and put a bunch of ground on the guys, all the cars behind us, that certainly makes a statement, I think, for all the people that were wondering if this was a kind of a fluke that we were still leading the points this far in.
Right here, Dave.
David Caravella, NASCAR.com. For Greg and Jack, if you don't mind commenting on this as well. Greg, how have you persevered over 49 winless races, especially given how much success Matt and Carl have had lately?
Yeah, it'll wear on you. It'll take years off your life. I've probably lost several, but you know what? I've been doing this deal a long time, and what kept me going, or what keeps your spirit up, is when you run good. You lead laps, you qualify good, or you run good, or you're leading a race, and you got to stop because you can't make it on fuel, or you put 2 tires on and everybody else does 4, and or you stay out and everybody pits behind you and you get waxed. So eventually you're going to win again. When you can't run very good, when you're running in the 20s, or and you're not fast and competitive, then there's time to worry about how are you going to win. Because if you're running 20th and that's the best you can run, you're not going to win. And what has gave me confidence over the last 49 races is we have run good. We just hadn't completed the deal. We hadn't finished. And that's why we didn't make the chase last year. We ran plenty good enough. We just couldn't, no matter what we did, we couldn't finish where we had run. And that's been the difference this year is Matt makes the right decisions on pit road and makes the right calls, and the team, doesn't make mistakes and has the cars prepared right, and we're qualifying better and all those things. So that's what keeps you going. And I've been where I won 6 or 9 wins in a season, and you cherish those moments because you don't know when the next one will be.